Tell me what it was like growing up in Duval when you were a child. You're not ready for this, huh?
You're not wasting time. You go straight to the point, right?
Yeah, we're recording.
I'm Andre. I'm from Haiti. I was born in Port-au-Prince. And after that, my mom sent me to Duval. So I grew up in Duval with my grandparents. Yeah, when I was living in Duval at that time, Duval was very nice because I grew up on my grandparents' farm. Life was beautiful because at that time, anywhere in Haiti was beautiful. From Port-au-Prince, you can go by car, you can go by motorcycle. If you want to use animals like donkeys, like horses, mules, I would say by car it's about like an hour. And most of the time, people they couldn't afford cars. Not everybody could afford a mule or a donkey. Most of the time, people walk. Things started to change. Before, we had the wood only on dirt. Now, they're starting to build new roads. They have electricity right now, and cars can go easier because the condition of the road is better. I would say, like, most of the people, they do farming. They do businesses too. They go to other places, buy stuff, and come back and sell it. I think the most important thing in Duval at that time was farming. Normally, Haitian, we like corn, we like vegetable, beans, we like sweet potatoes, we like juca, yam, everything, all the things I just mentioned. Every season, they grow something different. For example, when it's summer, it was the time to harvest corn and sweet potatoes. Also, we have a lot of avocados, a lot of fruits like grapefruits, oranges, and stuff. We have watermelons, mangoes, and we have what they call apricot. We have sugar cane. Farmers in Duval, more likely, they produce for themselves, and sometimes they're finished to harvest. They keep the amount they want for themselves, and after that, they go to sell the rest in a market called Griffin, or sometimes they go to Pétionville to sell the rest. But most of the time, the money they just buy the thing they couldn't find in Duval, which is like oil to cook, gas. So they use gas, like, to put in their lamp. And also, most of the time, in Duval, they don't produce rice. And they bought sugar and they bought other stuff they couldn't find in Duval. I grew up without electricity. We used to use like those small lamps. We just put gas in them so that at night we just light them. As the small lamp we call la tête bobèche. I cannot translate that one in English. I think it was fun. Life was very simple. And I remember during summer after my grandparents, they finished to harvest, their corn. We used to sit together at the porch of the house where we just like gather the corn, the corn we're going to sell, keep for next year. We try to grow corn every year. Grow up with electricity was fun for me, but I think if it were right now, it will be like a different story because now, with the technology, with the cell phone, with the TV, with laptop, with all the stuff, now I cannot go like anywhere without my phone. But at that time, and when I was growing up, we didn't have phone, we didn't have TV, we didn't have a computer, but we had our ways, to enjoy life. We used to play soccer. At that time, the river has a lot of water. In the afternoon, we go to the river, to swim. And we go to the river with the animals, to give them water. From my grandparents' house, it was about 15 minutes away. This is where we get our drinking water. And this is where we go shower. When we were young, my uncle, they used to go there to meet with girls, in the afternoon. Yeah, there were many people, in the river. People that went there to socialize. It's like everybody know each other. Duval wasn't like a big place, but we know people by name. People, they know each other and then they care for each other and then they look after each other also. They share their stuff. People greet on the street. Life in Duval was beautiful. Also, I like to hunt. I always have my slingshot. I have friends who just go, in the bush in my parents' farm, go look for birds and, we kill them. Sometimes we eat them. At that time, it was really fun, but now I just realize it's not fun at all to go out there, kill the birds. So now I see it in a different way. Duval at that time was very safe. I remember my grandfather, he was the sheriff. There was no crime. Everywhere was safe. You can walk anytime at night. The only thing, people were afraid is something, from our culture. We always talk about lugao. We always talk about champrel. When we go out at night, our grandparents, they always tell you, don't go too late at night. Don't stay late at night because lugao like, get some encounter with, that was it. Besides that, it was like very secure and safe. There are some people that practice voodoo, but they have their way to make some sacrifice. And also at night, when they go at night, they can attack some people. They can do, voodoo stuff. But I don't know much about voodoo because I grew up in a Christian family. But those are the stuff I heard. But I've never experienced stuff like that. The only thing, I heard they say the voodoo is just like a religion. That's all, but I don't know much about it. In Duval, most of the people, they go to Catholic church. It's only one big church for the whole community. It's like the same church was for Duval, and also it's for the other county, a little bit around Duval. And after that, some people, they are Christian Protestant. When I say Christian, they can be like Protestant or Baptist or Adventist. And then they have their own little church. I can say there were many Christian churches and few big Catholic churches. My grandparents, they were very religious, especially my grandmother. Going to church was very important for her because it means like the Sundays without going to church. It's like we go to church in the morning from 8 to 12, but going to church every Sunday is like a way we go to meet God, to pray. But at the same time, it was like a big event for us because that's where we get dressed. The women, they try to look pretty, and as men, we wear our clothes and stuff like that. It was always special. A Sunday in Duval, when I was living with my parents, was very, very special.